Good afternoon, my friend. If you're someone who is dealing with weight gain, trying to lose fat, and struggling, this video is for you. Today, we're going to be talking about the hidden connection between stress and fat gain, and we're going to address the things that you can do to get over it. But before we dive in, I want you to understand what we're going to cover in today's video. Today, we're going to cover three main topics. One of them is how ignoring stress affects your hormones and fat storage. We're going to cover how underestimating sleep and recovery is important, or how underestimating sleep and recovery is important. And then how oftentimes when we're stressed, we turn to comfort foods, and how those foods affect the fat gain or fat loss process. So as you pile on in the room, let's go ahead and get it started. Make sure that we can hear me good first. If you can hear me, throw an emoji in, your favorite emoji. Now that we've got that out the way, let's go ahead and do this because this is a community and I want to know how you feel. If you're feeling okay, if you're feeling good, like you pumped up today, drop a 1 in the comment section. If you're somebody that needs a little upliftment, need some encouragement, drop a 3 in the comments. And as a collective, we'll send you some love and light to help raise your vibration, raise your spirits. Okay, you're frozen on me. So I don't know how well this live is going to go because I've been trying to go live for the last 30 minutes and I couldn't get in. But anyway, now that you know what today's topic is about, if you know someone dealing with fat gain, with fat, trying to lose weight, and they just are struggling, send this video to them. Tag them, send it. As a matter of fact, there's 20 people in here. Everybody in here, send this video to 3 people. All right. Okay. Okay, we got a lot of ones. Everybody feeling good today. Studio Mix, sending you some love and light. K-Dog, sending you some love and light. Everybody else feeling good. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So let's go ahead and get charged up. Let's go ahead and get in here. Corliss, sending you some love and light as well. So I hit you with hidden stress and fat gain connection. Why are these things correlated first and foremost? So when you're super stressed, it throws your thyroid and your hormones all out of whack. The main reason is that when you're stressed, your body produces a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is the fight or flight hormone. However, when you have excess cortisol in the body and it's not able to process it or take it a step further, when your body receives cortisol, it thinks that it needs to get into fight or flight mode. So it does a couple of things. It starts to begin to store energy. This is why having excess cortisol in the body creates fat gain. And it's not just any old regular fat. It's the visceral fat, the kind that gets around your organs, and the fat that is the hardest to lose. So that's number one. Hormones, your stress hormone is going to affect how well you're able to metabolize fat and or how your body is going to store fat, especially belly fat. So for all of my people that are like, I eat healthy, I work out, but I still got this gut, I cannot get rid of it. It's time to take a look at how you're managing your stress, whether you've eliminated enough of it or whether you're allowing it to take over your body. The second component to how stress affects the fat loss process is that it actually slows down fat loss. Chronic stress slows your metabolism. It makes it sluggish because it interferes with your thyroid hormones and it affects your insulin sensitivity. Insulin sensitivity dictates how well insulin is used with the cells so that it can uptake glucose in the bloodstream. And we all know that if all the glucose in the bloodstream isn't used, the body stores it as, you got it, fat. So by having all of this additional stress, not only are you creating more fat because your body's storing energy, but you're also not burning as much fat because your metabolism is slowed down. The third component of how stress is affecting your fat loss, and this goes to the point that I mentioned earlier about the third thing that we're going to do. When you're stressed, you probably reach for comfort foods. You want something that's going to help calm you down, make you feel good, put a smile on your face. Which of those foods typically? These are the foods that are high in sugar, high in fat, high in salt. So when you're feeling angry, you're feeling distressed, you're probably going to reach for some cookies, some chips, something along those lines, right? So if you're reaching for those things, now you're increasing the amount of calories that you're taking in while increasing the amount of sugar, salt, and fat. And we all know that those are the three things that are going to lead to more fat gain, especially when you're eating in a calorie surplus, which most people that are emotionally eating aren't paying attention to the calories. They're just eating because they're trying to fill a gap. They're trying to fill a hole. They're trying to change their mood. Well, yeah, peace and balance definitely can play a role in it. So it's crazy how stressed the stress hormone really puts the brain in conflict. Because in one regard, it tells the body to store energy because it doesn't know when we're going to need it. But at the same time, it requires the brain to think that it needs more energy because it's going to go into fight and flight. And that's part of the reason why you start to crave these salty, sugary, and fatty foods. And if you already overeat, eating more is only going to make it worse. Fourth reason why stress is connected to your fat gain and your ability to fat gain and the reason why you cannot lose weight. I'm trying to be all prolific with my words and it's not coming out that good. So let's just keep talking because I want to keep this energy up, energy high. I don't want to talk too fast, but I don't want to talk too slow. The live I did on Monday, I was talking way too slow. So when I tried to repurpose that content, no good. So today we're speaking at the proper speed. So back to sleep, stress, and how it disrupts sleep. So how the fat comes with protection layer as well. Fat is not a protection layer when it is in excess. Me, I have a protection layer of fat. It's the amount that keeps me going when I need to keep going and keep me warm when I need to be warm. However, excess body fat is not a protection layer. Excess body fat is where all the toxins and chemicals are being stored in your body. This is why when you start to lose weight or you go on a fast, you typically get sicker. So we're never going to use it as a protection layer as a reason to maintain that because our goal here with this channel and with our communications is to be our best, healthiest self so that we can create generational health and be there for our children no matter what age they are. So, um, when you are under a lot of stress, when you have a lot of cortisol rushing through your body, it disrupts your sleep. Well, we've discussed it before. Sleep is when the body goes through its restorative processes. So, guess when you're actually burning fat? You're not burning fat when you're in the gym. You're not burning fat when you're eating in a calorie deficit. You're actually burning fat in your sleep when your body goes through the restorative processes. We just addressed how fat would be. It's not more of a storage for energy as well. All fat is stored energy. The problem is there are people walking around with more stored energy than they absolutely need. There are people walking around with more stored energy than they would use in a lifetime. Excess body fat is a lead to type 2 diabetes because it creates insulin sensitivity or insulin resistance. It leads to high blood pressure because now all of the fat is clogging up the arteries or it's pressing them closer together. Fat also can lead to high cholesterol. So at no point are we ever going to give fat a pass. Never, ever, ever. So I appreciate the playing the other side of the coin, but we're talking to people who have excess fat, not people like me who just like I'm probably underweight as far as fat goes, but that's not neither here nor there. I like my aesthetic. But back to how sleep and stress affect your ability to lose weight. Well, when you get poor sleep, there are two hormones that are affected. One of the hormones is called ghrelin. Ghrelin is the hormone that tells you when you're hungry. But when you're not sleeping enough, the ghrelin hormone goes out of control, so you end up eating even more. Hmm. Now, on the reverse side of ghrelin, there's leptin. And I'm saying that right? Leptin, not lectin. Leptin. Now, leptin is the hormone that tells your body when you're full. Well, guess what stress does? It suppresses the leptin hormone. So now your body doesn't recognize when it's full. So it makes it easier for you to overeat, hence leading to more weight gain because you're eating in a calorie deficit and you're craving these salty, sugary, fatty foods. So even one night of bad sleep can mess with your blood sugar and the cravings for the next day. So sleep is imperative. And now remember at the beginning, I told you that we were going to discuss how stress was affecting it, how stress is affecting your sleep, and how stress is affecting the food that you crave. We've just hit all of those. Now, here is a big important part. Here is a big important part that most people overlook. When you're highly stressed, it impacts your gut health. Let me say that again. When you're highly stressed, it affects your gut health. Gut health determines hormone balance as well as how your metabolism works and how your body's digesting food. So if your digestion is off, your gut health is off, guess what's going to happen? It's going to cause bloating, it's going to cause inflammation and poor digestion, which means all of these things are going to stall weight loss and support fat storage. So now that I've given you the rundown of all of the problems, I'll reiterate them so that those that have just joined us, there's a hidden link between stress and weight gain. First, the stress hormone cortisol stores fat, especially belly fat. Second, stress slows down fat loss. Third, stress increases the cravings for sugar, salt, and fat. Fourthly, stress disrupts sleep, which equals more fat gain. And then lastly, stress impacts your gut health, which slows down the ability for your body to burn and use fat. So here's what you have to do. Here's what you have to do. Actually, before we go over that, let's go over this stress fat gain cycle. You stress, you crave junk food. You feel guilty, you stress more. You sleep poorly, your body stores more fat, you stress even more. You see how this works in a cycle. But anywho, so let me give you 3 steps to help you break the cycle of stressing and weight gain so that you can actually start to see the weight come off, see your numbers improve. Okay. The first thing that you want to do is calm down the nervous system. And you have to do this daily. Being constantly stressed puts our nervous system in this heightened state and it affects every way we move. However, the quickest and easiest way to reset your nervous system is with breathing. Breath work is the quickest way to reset your nervous system and bring you back to center. So you can practice deep belly breathing. So this is where you breathe so that your sternum moves up and down. You want to do 5 to 10 minutes of breath work. There are different breathing techniques. You can use deep cleansing breath. You can use box breathing, which is a 4-4-4 count. You can use alternate nostril breathing, which helps balance the 2 hemispheres of the brain. There is breath of fire, which helps recharge you and re-energize you. But I would recommend you not do that one when you're stressed because it can probably heighten the energy of that stress. But when you're doing this breathing techniques, it calms the mind, it calms the nervous system. You can also go for a quick walk, do a light stretch, anything to kind of reshift your mind. Journaling is also another amazing tool to help reset your nervous system because you get the information out, your mind is able to process it. The second thing that I need you to focus on, when dealing with your stress is eat foods that support your hormones. Because the hormones are so out of balance, you can eat whole food plant-based meals that are high in antioxidants and they're high in fiber. So they're going to help regulate your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and support cortisol balance. Okay. And then lastly, I want you to prioritize recovery over intensity. I know on Tuesday, we discussed how strength training is more important than cardio. But we just discussed how when you lack sleep, when you lack rest, your hormones go out of whack. So it is imperative that you prioritize your recovery because that's where fat loss really happens. That's when your body's able to get those hormones in balance. So if you're not getting enough sleep, add more. If you need more, add more. Take naps. Like I live on taking a nap, even if it's just 20-minute, 30-minute nap to recharge, refresh the brain. So today's takeaway, if you've been stuck, it might not be your willpower that's getting you there, that's keeping you there, I should say. It might be your stress wiring. When you lower your stress, your body feels safe enough to let go of the extra fat. I'll say that again. When your body is stressed, your body does not feel safe. However, when you're able to release that stress and make your body feel safe, it feels comfortable. It feels safe enough to release the stored energy, the stored fat, because it knows that it's comfortable. So if you're someone who is struggling with fat loss, struggling with high blood pressure, struggling with type 2 diabetes, I have a solution for you. On May 26th, we're going to start the Metabolic Health Reset Challenge. It will be 5 days of learning technique, 4 moves basically, on how to lower your blood pressure, lower your blood sugar, decrease your stress, and lose some weight. If you're interested in learning more about that, send me a DM or comment the word stress in under this live after it's gone, and I'll get you some information about that because it launches officially tomorrow. And then you'll have 2 weeks to get yourself enrolled. I know somebody's going to ask, how much is the challenge? The challenge is $99 for general admission and $199 for VIP, where you can come on and ask questions with me one-on-one. So Corliss Adams, send that to me as a DM or once I post this. And I'm about to post this video in about 2 minutes when we get off of here. I want each and every one of you to go onto that video and write one takeaway that you took from it so that the people who are watching the replay can see what gems are inside of this video and why they should watch. Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, I'll answer 3 questions if you have them. And if you aren't having no questions, I'm cool with that too. I got more work to do. So if you got any questions, this is your time. If you have questions about how stress is affecting your fat loss or how you can get into a fat loss state, drop them questions in the question box or in the comment section, and we'll get them answered for you here expeditiously. Okay, no questions. Going once, going twice. Third time, no questions. All right, so to the man in the back with a hat, appreciate y'all for sharing your time and your energy with me today. This live will go up as a replay. So go ahead and tap in with that. Until the next live tomorrow at 3, we'll be discussing other common mistakes that you're making with your fat loss. I'll see you then. Peace.